shoes. In this mind, you will see who you're really gonna be. Hollowed out, filled with sin, keeping watch, I don't pretend. Feelings throw you to the ground. Pick it up and spin around. Stay true, I don't wanna be in this room. Stay true, I don't wanna be in this room.
All right, it's been a while since we've been here. And so tonight I thought I would just kind of get started again and throw this out there. That was the intro song that I love to use for the podcast. It is called Stay True, and it is by my son, Dawson Carroll. So I wanted to kind of catch up, do a little short live, and get this thing rolling again. The Freakcast. I want to tell you kind of a few things tonight. Whenever you watch this, tonight, tomorrow, whenever the case may be, so that you can, I don't know. Let me just get to the point, first of all, where the whole purpose of the Freakcast and how it was born. It's been over a year since I did a live and did a podcast. And so I'm not really sure why, honestly. It just kind of fell off a little bit. And all along over the course of the last year, I felt like, you know what, I need to get this thing rebooted. I need to get it relaunched. I need to get back at it. I need to get back, into what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is one of the biggest things I believe is just a huge purpose for my life. And so maybe you're new joining us, and if you are, let me tell you a little bit about the Freakcast and what it's all about. In 2022, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is a blood cancer. And so just out of nowhere. And you can follow you'll see the ticker across the bottom. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is at Fight Like a Freak, you can catch up on the story, and you can see kind of where it all began. I kind of journaled my whole journey with multiple myeloma, so I won't take the time to go through all that right now. But we'll revisit that over the weeks and months ahead. But we began that journey, and so this shirt that I have on, after my first treatment, I remember I was in my closet looking, what am I going to wear, and I put this shirt on. And it's an old DC Talk shirt. You probably can't see it, but it says Freak. It's got the word ardent enthusiast underneath it. And so I just started wearing this shirt to every treatment, every appointment, everything. And my sister, oddly enough, one day was just saying, well, you're just fighting like a freak. And I was like, man, I like that. And so I really kind of took on that whole theme through my journey and have held on to it. Even now, believe it or not, will be 3 years in July since I was first diagnosed, with that. So the Freakcast was born because it was just what I believe was part of my purpose, and it is a way to share stories of people just like you, stories of people just like me. And I have a list of names that are going to be on the Freakcast moving forward. And then I had about 17 episodes that we did before I kind of fell off. It's like anything. I think if you don't just stay with it, and if you don't stay committed to it, then you can easily just kind of lose track. And it's hard to get back started. And that's why, like right now, it's 10:26 at night when I'm doing this. But it just matters to me. And kind of a theme verse for me is it's in Revelations chapter 12, verse 11. It says that they overcame the enemy by the power of the blood and the word of their testimony, or the word of their story. And I'm all about stories and love stories. For me, my faith is hugely important in everything that I do, and so it was one of those things where when you think about the life of Christ, one of the things he did was he told stories and loved stories and met people right where they were. And so that's what this is all about. So why the relaunch? Why the reboot? I have to tell you honestly, and there's several things I want to catch you up on, which I want in a second, but I want to tell you why I'm doing this tonight. Months ago, in January of 2023, no, wait, that's not right. It was January of 2024. I was in the treatment room, and I will wear my shirt to every treatment. And so I walked in to the treatment room, and I walked into the bay where I was going to be that day. I looked, and there was this guy, and he had on a Freak shirt. It was a Nike Freak shirt. I think it was like the Greek Freak, the player from, I think it's Milwaukee. I can't remember his name. But immediately I was connected with him. And so we just started talking. I sat down beside him, in the chair beside him. We just started talking the whole time I was there. And then it was Ryan. And so we connected and we talked. I said, man, you got to be on the Freakcast. He said, oh, dude, I'd love to. And so we exchanged numbers, and I reached out to him. We began to talk and communicate. And I wish I think I have that somewhere, but just a picture of Ryan. But I didn't get that prepared ahead of time. I don't think might be able to find it on here. But anyway, long story short, I invited him to be on the Freakcast, and he was. I know I've got a picture of him somewhere on here. Let's see if I can find him. But anyway, long story short, I reached out to him, and he agreed to be on the podcast, and that's a picture of Ryan right there. Had some others on here too. I think I had a picture of him and his family. But anyway, we had the podcast, and then I kind of fell off, and then we connected. We just stayed in touch over the course of the next few months. And then in July of 24, I reached out to him, and I was like, hey man, when you get together? He said, yeah, let's get together and do lunch. Well, the next month I started another job with a construction company here in town that needed a superintendent, which I'll catch you up on down the road. But and so we didn't really connect. And then I sent him a text in October. I didn't hear back from him. Well, then I found out, I got a message on Instagram that Ryan wasn't doing well. And so he had colorectal cancer. And so I found out that he had, and I don't know all the details, but they were giving him a treatment, and through the course of the treatment, Ryan eventually, just passed away. And to be quite honest, it was, even now that I talk about it, it was a blow. I just didn't get to spend the time with him that I wanted to spend with him. I didn't get to. I just had so many thoughts, and once I found out that he was really sick, a friend of his reached out to him on Instagram and told me he was really sick, and I messaged him on his phone, and now looking back, I know that he was just not. He was in bad shape, and so that was in December, I believe. And then over the course of the next few months, I would get messages from different people that saw the podcast and got to hear Ryan's story. And so I just started thinking, and realizing, Stephen, what are you doing? This is something that you need to be doing. You need to get this. You need to get on top of this. You need to get back and start doing this thing. And then I got a message from his wife, Margaret, and she just messaged me, and she just basically just was saying how thankful she was to be able to look back at that, because the podcast is on YouTube. I encourage you to go. All of them are on YouTube. There's some great stories of just that were just powerful. And then today, I got another message from her, and she shared the link on her Instagram with a powerful post about just cancer and life and family. And so I was just like, I don't care what time it is. I don't care how many people watch. This is really for me. And if you're watching and you want to watch, I'm glad that you did. But I have to get to move. I have to start moving forward. I have to do this. This is something that I need to do. And there's things with the whole Fight Like a Freak movement that I know I'm supposed to do, an online store, just different things. And really it's just about the phrase, the movement, just whatever it is. I don't even know. It's just something that I know that I'm supposed to do. And so I want to say thank you to Ryan's wife, Margaret, for sharing that with me, because it made a huge impact on my life. And I'm thankful for Ryan. Ryan made a huge impact on my life. So positive. He was so powerful, such a presence of just encouragement and just determination. He was so freaking strong. And in cancer is ridiculous. So that's why I'm here tonight. And so I thought I would tell you kind of what the motive is about it, and then just catch up. And over the course of the next few weeks, I think I'm going to do one just to kind of catch up on stories that we've already told, but then we're going to introduce new stories to you. I have a list of people and incredible stories of just common everyday people that have battled through things and through struggles, and my own family, just people that, have made incredible impact on my life, and just are freaks, the way they handle it, just battling through things and fighting through things. And so that's the whole purpose behind it. So that's what we're going to begin to do. And we're going to relaunch this thing, and we're going to move forward. I love the theme song by Dawson, Stay True. And it's always going to be a part of what we're doing. And I'm going to learn how to do this better. And I'm going to just keep moving forward. Just kind of an update on me. I'm just still in remission, and just continue to do the synergy of everything that I've been doing. And I'm in a new phase, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Just getting back onto a better diet and getting back into exercise and trying to get back to where I need to be physically. And there's no way I can catch you up on a year worth of life, maybe if you've been following me along the way, but even on Facebook and stuff like that. Just my son Dawson and I were talking about that just yesterday, just about staying active and staying vigilant and just staying, involved in what I'm supposed to be doing. And then another deal that has just come up that is another big motivator for me is, if you know my sister Lori, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer back in late summer, early fall. I think it was August. And so Lori Lee went through, she had 6 treatments over the course of 18 weeks. So 1 treatment every 3 weeks. And she has the sister freak. She's, if you know Lori at all, she's just an incredible light and just an incredible presence, and always has been. And so it's kind of a weird deal, right? I mean, why? And why would you had a brother and a sister, and then you start thinking, okay, how in the world did that happen? We both come from the same town, but who knows? I mean, we don't have answers to that, right? But it's like I always tell people, it's like, I know God didn't do this to me or her or anyone, but at the same time, it didn't stop it either. I don't have all those answers. So Lori went through the 18 weeks, every 3 weeks, and had surgery early on to remove as much as possible. And then now she's continuing just to battle through things and moving forward. And so obviously, pray for her, and then just tons of stuff. People that I will have on here, like Sean, and um, there's a gentleman that I want to have on here really bad. I'm gonna try to get him on here really quick as well. Just powerful stories, but all those things have happened in the last year, and then, so it's been a lot overall. But I think the thing about this tonight is that to move forward and to fulfill my purpose. And I would ask you, if you're watching and or you're listening, just that you would, pray for, pray that I would just be active in fulfilling this purpose, because I've always loved stories. I've always loved people. I got that naturally from my parents and from my dad, who served in a community for 52 years, and just was, oh gosh, I'd love to have him on here, obviously, but who passed away. And this past weekend we got to honor him. My sister Sarah has done incredible things in Minden, Louisiana. She is just taken her story, and has taken that story and just basically reclaimed her life, and she had a cottage in Minden, Louisiana that she restored. So she's restored her life, and an old cottage, and called Simply Southern Cottage. And so not only has she done a cottage, but she's done some villas, and she's taken an old house and remodeled it, and apartments, and just all these incredible things. But now what she's done is something to honor my dad. So this past weekend we were in Minden, Louisiana, and she had what's called Phil's 5K. So what she's done is she's taken a home, and she is renovating it. It's in the same little area where she's been doing a lot of her work there in Minden, and it's called Phil's Cottage. And it's going to be a place where moms with children can basically transition and have a place that they can live. I think it's going to be able to hold 3 different families, three different moms and their children, and they're going to have a place to stay and transition and just get their feet under them. And so this past week we were there, and I think I put some pictures. You can see this is our family that they all got to come. It's crazy because I had told them about it, weeks ago, and so I just kind of did a follow-up text, and they were like, "We're coming." So all of my kids were there. Obviously, Donna and I were there, and then our son Jordan and his wife Kaylin were there, and they brought our new grandson Rowan, and I happen to have a picture of him too. There he is, right there. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Dude, this has been the most amazing thing. This kid has absolutely changed everything, and so we just freaking love him so much. And people told me that that would be the case, and it absolutely is. But so she had this thing. It was called Phil's 5K, and I have my number here, and so I tried to get in shape ahead of time, and I did the best I could, but I really didn't do the best I could. I could have done a lot better, but and so I showed up, and me and my cousin Bubba, who was there as well. Let's see, I think this is me. No, that's me and Dee Dee. I thought I had a picture of me and Bubba, but anyway, we that's Dee Dee, the Dee Dee and the Pop and Dee Dee, and so her and my dad were married 37 years, I think is right. But and so that's Phil's Cottage right there. There's me and the boys on there in the front porch, and so I have some better pictures moving forward. But then we all jumped into this race, and the whole deal is to raise funds to do that. And you can, and if you're so inclined, definitely can follow my sister at Simply Southern Cottage, and she's on Instagram. She has a large following there. Look her up, and there's ways that you can donate and be a part of it. But I wore my freak cat, my dad's freak cat, and so to run in, and I ran the whole thing. It's pretty proud of myself. I was hurting. My hamstrings were on fire, and so anyway. But man, it was a great event, and we had a blast, and I'm just looking forward to what's happening. But our family was there together. My Aunt Sandra, my Uncle Waylon, Byron, Bubba, and his son Daniel were there, and then obviously our family and Dee Dee and Sarah and Hector were all there as well. And so next year it's going to be April 25th, and I'm going to do a lot better job of promoting it. And we're going to have a big reunion, have all of our family there to hang out. And I'm looking forward to that. And so it's going to be a big deal. So that's what was happening this past weekend. And so I think that's the deal, is that I just have been incredibly blessed to get to know and to have a lot of people in my life. And so in 2010, we, in fact, my cousin Shannon's there, is in the chat saying that she's going to be there. And so it's going to be awesome. Oh man, so many things. But, in 2010, I'll end with this. Why am I even here? And my wife and I, Donna and I, really felt just a complete call out of a situation and into another. We had no idea what we were doing. And so we literally just stepped away from a position that we'd been in for 9 years. I was a youth pastor for a long time, loved it. But through a set of circumstances and things, we just knew that it was time for us to move on. And so when we moved on, I'll never forget, we were with my sister, Laura Lee, and Drew, and we were at the beach, and we were just talking, and Donna and I both just loved the family, and just had this vision that we felt like we were being moved into the culture and into the community around us to be an encouragement to the family at the cellular level, is what we called it. And so we just started this journey. This was 2010. And so in 2011, I did a wedding for a couple, and the bride's name was Brittany. And so I'd officiated the wedding, and at that wedding, she had a DJ, and the DJ was just not very good. And so somebody said, you should have got Steven to DJ for you. And she's like, I didn't know you DJ. And I was like, yeah, I do. And I've always been musical. And at that time, I just was kind of moving forward. And I mean, immediately, without even, I just remember the moment clearly. She looked at me. She said, you need to start a company and call it Hitch and Spin. And I was like, that's a great idea. It was 2011. Well, it took me several years to get that in my head. And so then about 2018 was when I launched this deal called Hitch and Spin. And so I do the hitching, I do the spinning, I officiate, and I DJ, and I do it all at the same time. And people are like, how do you do that? Well, I've been doing it my whole life. I mean, as a youth pastor, born way back in the day to the cassette tape days, I would line up cassette tapes behind me, and I would play a cassette tape, lead it, talk, turn around, put another tape in, lead it, talk. And so it's always been something that I've been able to do. And so I'm able to control the music and during the ceremony and conduct the ceremony and then transition to the wedding. Well, over the course of the last, I guess, 2018, it's been 7 years. Really launched it in 2019 and 2020. Last year I did 76 weddings. And in the next 7 days, I have 5 weddings in the next 7 days, 26 weddings in the months of April and May. And I've already done, I really don't even know how many weddings I've already done, but I'll do over 100 weddings this year. And so that became something, and Donna's, we have a big vision in that area as well, and so we're pursuing that, and she's a big part of what we are doing, and then in 2022 I get diagnosed with multiple myeloma. If you'd have told me in 2010 that the vision that we were given, the purpose we were given, would manifest itself through a wedding business and a cancer diagnosis, I mean, you'd never think of it. But isn't that the case? Because things are never the way you thought they were going to be. And in a cultural world that we live in, my mission is not politics. I get, I have my beliefs and what I stand for, and I have to avoid making comments to a lot of posts and not reacting to stories, because it's just, the climate is just ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. Just borderline. Anyway, I don't want to get into that, but but for me, it's about engaging with families and engaging with people. And I couldn't think of anything that is more vision related than getting to do weddings, literally every weekend for the most part. And so through that, and then the cancer diagnosis and the fight like a freak, these two worlds have come together, and this is a big part of it. And I tell people all the day, from the time I wake up in the morning to the time I go to bed at night, I want to know that I was driving toward my purpose. I have so much that I want to do. Website development and social media and just being consistent. And it's funny because, like, as many would think, maybe when you think about me, you might think, well, he's confident or whatever. I don't know. But we all have our insecurities and our fears. And this is one thing that that no matter what, just to pursue it. I really don't have an end game. I don't have like a vision. I just know that today, that this was a big deal, and the catalyst was Ryan, and Margaret's text. Because when you realize that just being present, and meeting a guy like him, and then doing a podcast, and then that what God led you to do is a comfort to a family, and is an opportunity for people to hear his story, which I encourage you to go. His name's Ryan Pfeiffer, and I'm not sure I'm saying that right. I think that's right, but it's on the YouTube channel, and I'll post it. But it was a great conversation, over 2 hours. There's so many great conversations I've had, but that conversation and the text messages and the things I've received, I just was driving home today and I got Margaret's text, and that she had shared the podcast, and I just thought, I didn't think, I just was like, what are you waiting for? So here we go. And so just however you want to support, not financially, but just by sharing and just being a part of it with me, that's what you can do. And I'm looking at as the chat over here, and there's some people obviously that I want to have on here that have got such powerful stories. And you have a story. We all have a story. Every wedding that I do, I always tell every couple that you have a story, and that your story matters, and that your story needs to be told, and you're writing a story. It's all about that, and how you respond as things happen in your life. It matters. And so the last thing I'll say, whether it's Kelly, who's a guy that was on the podcast, as well, and his his story is incredible, and he's battling through cancer and going through so much. Or Lacey, who was the first guest that I ever had, who is in remission, and then Sydney, who is I saw a post today, who's got another port put in, is still battling cancer. Or Tracy, who goes to treatment all the time. I mean, I just keep going down the line of all these incredible stories, and there's even more that need to be told, because I believe, like the verse in Revelation says, that's how you overcome. It's through the power of, Easter's coming up, the power of the blood, and the word of our testimony, our story. It's what, for me and many, it's what God has done in your life through all that you faced, even in the middle of the storms and the difficulties. It matters. And so I encourage you to realize that no matter where you are tonight, whatever you may be facing and what you may be going through, as discouraging as it may be, as discouraging as the news can be, and the climate around us, as unstable as things can seem, in the middle of it all, I truly believe that there's a rock that we stand on. It's our foundation. It's what we believe. And I tell people all the time, and I said this on here, and I'll say it many more times to come, that I'm thankful for who I was becoming before I was diagnosed. Because when I was diagnosed, it changed me, and I'm thankful. My friend Kelly, who I referenced a while ago, would tell you, and you should follow him as well. I'll try to make sure I get that all out there, but you just see these people. And then there's a friend of mine who I'd love to have on here as well, and he just got diagnosed with multiple myeloma recently and is in a battle, going through things. All these people, and just you as well. We're all going through something, and whatever it is, as you weather it, as you go through it, in the middle of it, on the other side of it, and you look back, you'll hopefully see change and see things that matter. I know people, though, that waller in all that, and you can't find your identity in your sickness. You can't find your identity in what's going on. It's your identity is found, for me, it's found in Christ. And then he takes us in the middle of our mess and transforms us and gives us a testimony to share. And that testimony is how we, what we learned and what we've come through. And I have plenty of issues in my life still, but the one thing that I'm thankful for is for the journey. So anyway, all right, that's it for tonight. I just wanted to jump on here and just get started. And so if you followed along for these 34 minutes, thanks. And just be watching. And if you don't see something pop up, message me and say, hey, man, where you at? But I'm going to start booking them. And my mind's just rolling through the people that are going to be on here. And I just can't wait for you to hear them. Because it's definitely people that have fought through things and made it through things. So it's going to be really cool. I think that's it, for tonight. But if you haven't followed us, all the podcasts are on iTunes. They're on Spotify. You can follow on there. My Instagram is at Stephen Carroll 77. You can follow there. My Facebook is just Stephen Carroll. And there's just some things. And then my YouTube channel is Fight Like a Freak. And that's where all of the podcasts are stored. And all the videos from my journey are all there as well. And so it's just an opportunity to just share those. So I want to share Ryan's link with you. I'll put it on my. I'm going to share Margaret's post that she put on my story, and then go follow my sister Sarah, and check out Phil's Cottage and just that whole movement. It's a really neat opportunity, and I'd really appreciate your prayers for my sister Lori Lee. My friend Terry was on here too. I saw her, and she's, man, I'll just tell you right now, that's both of those people need to be on here. So I'm hopefully going to get them on here. But wait till you hear those stories. Wow. So anyway, much love to you guys. Thank you for joining in. If you did, thanks for following along. Thanks for praying. Thanks for believing with us. It's still a journey. And just called my holistic doctor actually today to try to reschedule another appointment, just to kind of get make sure kind of where I'm at, what need to keep moving forward, and lots to talk about. So we'll get there one day at a time. Anyway, God bless. Remember, you got a story and it's worth telling. And I hope you get a chance to tell something tomorrow to somebody. If you're going through a mess, let us know. We'd love to pray for you too. Just message us and add you to that. I used to put a list under all my posts. I need to get back in that. But I have a list on my phone of people, and I go through it and just pray for them, as well. So, all right. That's it for tonight. And we will be back on here real soon. All right. So, hope you guys have an awesome night, awesome day tomorrow. And we'll talk to you later.